Fellas, coming to you from Whole Pass Media in Newport Beach, it's Olbs, the Updog, and Swish. Fellas, how we feeling? We're back. What a fucking fella tour.
Yeah, boys are back. Nice to be in the studio, but always, as always, boys, it's nice to get on the road with you. I'm a road guy. Always do my best work on the road. I don't know if my stats would prove that, but nice to get out there. It was nice to add our boy Richie to the mix. But boys, what'd you think? The Steel City, did it live up to everything we were hoping it would be, or what, boys?
Cold, dark, rainy, a good chin on it, boys. I mean, that city is just a nail gun type town. And it was awesome, honestly, chopping it up with the good people of Pittsburgh at that game at William Penn Tavern on Thursday. A lot of good guys in there. And fuck, man, they were sliding that night. They really were. I mean, we ended up at late night talking about Team Canada's fourth line, third line into the wee hours of the night, brother. So no, it's always good to get on the road with you boys, hang out, and always, as a younger guy, I always, I'm taking bits and pieces from both of you before you even know it, right? Just veteran tips, little things here and there. So no, it was awesome to hang out with you guys, and obviously Richie Bay, a good veteran himself. So it was an awesome time.
Yeah, it was nice to have the whole squad on the road. The Steelers fans, as you would say, are nail guns, right? The fans are unbelievable. There was this one girl in there, had a Browns jersey on, and every time I went to take a piss, I'm like, you are a brave girl. And then I looked back at the social media that we posted that night. Fuck, was I pinned. I mean, I was drunk in every single, not just drunk. I looked way drunker than you or Richie or anyone. I was definitely first star when it came to drunkest guy at the William Penn Tavern.
Yeah, I think that's just what we're there for, though.
Were we?
As Labatt Blue light patrons, we're there to not slow play this thing. We're there to send it. We're there to have a good time. Shout out to all the DK crew and the Labatt crew. It was a good time at the game. It was a good time the night before. Boys got a couple nice little lunches, little team dinners. A Hall on the road with the boys again. I mean, by the way, waking him up, Schmaltzy in the morning.
Oh, how was that early flight, how was that early flight home, boys? Because A Hall left my room at 3:30, and he was bucking sideways.
Yeah, I was that flight. I had the security let me in his room at 6. We had a 6:45 bus. Kyle had to check his bag. So I got the Uber and I let them go, and I'm like, I'll go get Al. Walk into his room. All the lights are on. TV's on. Bags are half packed, so I give him that.
Yeah.
Bags are half packed. No alarm going off. No nothing. I wake him up. He's like, just starts singing some fucking odd rap tune to himself, and I'm like, hey, bud, time to get up. Because, Al, he's, the last thing he needs is to miss a flight and be stuck in Pittsburgh. But the early flight, it wasn't too bad. I just got on there, a little coffee.
Yeah.
Did
you start drinking again, or did you just have a nap?
I had a glass. No, I had a glass of wine on the second leg. And then, it was nice. We got back. What time did you get back, Schmaltzy? I got back at 1 o'clock, 1:30.
Yeah, it was perfect. I mean, I was home probably, I think, right at 1 o'clock on the nuts. Obviously, right now we're in Mountain Standard. You guys are Pacific Dare. We don't change the clocks over here, boys. So,
well, hey, what saved us was that United Club, Uppy.
Oh yeah, we went to the United Club. That's where we had the first drink, actually, too. That's a nice little establishment there, the United Club.
Where was that, in your layover?
Yeah, we had an hour. Schmaltzy had a little bit less than us, but he made it up there. We had a little quick breakfast. Bloody Mary, spicy Bloody Mary.
How'd you get them all in there?
You get, because I fly so much.
And you convinced the guy to take Kyle back there with you, too. That was an awesome play by Uppy.
Yeah. So I get to take two guys. So I took A Hall and Schmaltzy, and another guy walking in, looking at us again, was like, you need a tickie? And then the guy helped out too. But nice establishment when you get caught. By the way, that airport, boys, midwinter when the snow starts coming. Oh, but you know this, getting stuck in Denver. It is a shit show. So finally, instead of packing people on the main level, they built these United clubs, which are huge. So you can fit an extra 500-600 people in these clubs when shit gets, when you're stuck there for a full day. But a nice place to grab a cocktail. We watched the first leg of there was a great game on. Was it Alabama?
It was Indiana, Ohio State.
Yeah, great game. So I had Indiana
State.
I know.
Statement win there for those lads.
Yeah, it was, right? Indiana gave up their perfect record. I thought
they were undefeated, but hadn't played anyone, obviously, that capability. And they were just chirping the Indiana coach, because when he started winning, he was like, just Google me. Yeah. And then they got shit kicked. So I guess the headline in the Columbus Dispatch or whatever was Google me or something. Suck on it, fella. They just bitch slapped them.
And even that United Club, I mean, if you were with a gal or whatever it is, I mean, you could even go up there and do some damage.
Yeah. They got big showers in there. They got the wellness center. I said to the guy, what's the wellness center all about? Is there a massage table back there? Or you got a little gym? By the way, I thought it'd be a good place to put a gym in an airport like that. You get laid over. All of a sudden, they're like, you got 5 hours now, your flight. You're like, okay, well, what would you pay to go in and get a little sweat, maybe a little nice hot sauna or something? Like, you'd probably pay a lot of money. They should build some nice gyms and $100.
A couple curls while they laid over. Eh?
Yeah, get a couple curls. Get a protein shake. Work on the blood flow. It's not a bad thing.
I'd say put a theater in there before a gym. Big old theater, a fucking big sectional that blinds some down, fucking ESPN Plus. I wouldn't care if my flight ever came. DoorDash me something right there and fucking let's watch the matches.
Get some orange chicken and just fucking
That's what you know with. I would go with a big old fucking entertainment center. No,
it's not a bad call. Just a big IMAX.
Or say make IMAX in there. Like your bird's canceled. It's all good. I'll catch the next one tomorrow. Throw me a fucking vitamin here and I'm just going to sit down and relax all day.
Boys, I think they should. Like maybe a pool hall, someone play some pool.
Center?
Yeah, maybe play some ping pong. I don't know.
Obi, how all time would that be if they had a DoorDash guy inside the airport because you're too hung and beat it to your gaze inside a United Club, fella?
Take that golf cart to Panda Express and grab me the fucking 2-plate orange chickie with the chow.
Yeah, you know how they got the golf cart? There's beeps and they're like beep beep. It's just DoorDash. It's going right to Obi with the orange chickie.
Going back to A-Hall, I don't know what time you left the room, Swish, but me and I'm like, A-Hall, you got to change your flight right now. Like, what do you possibly have to get back to do on a Saturday at 1 o'clock that cannot wait till Sunday? Like, I got to get back. I want those 3 hours back. I'm like, those 3 hours aren't going to save you now. No, you're like,
he needed the 3 hours.
You had a good game plan prior to getting in one with me and Richie and the boys. Like, but even Uppy's in bed.
Yeah.
Like, when you're still awake and Upshaw's in bed for an 8 a.m.er, you're in one. Like, and he left the room. I'm like, are you packed yet? He's like, nah, I'm not packed yet. I'm like, so I was interested. I never heard anything, so I just assumed he made it, but he was in one, right?
It was that. Oh, buddy, it was so in one. But he got up. He sleeps with his old school ginch on, and he's I'm like, hey, splash a little water on your face, hey, brush your teeth. I just keeping him sharp. But
I gotta give A-Hall. You know how he's a pretty clever guy and hands on and everything he does. Like, we get in the room and I got this my phone on like plastic glass, just leaning on it. He takes this like little fucking what do you put ice in?
The ice bucket?
Yeah, little bucket, flips it over sideways, puts it in there, turns it up. It's like a full speaker. I'm like, buddy, you just MacGyvered that in from like a 2 to a 10, and we were having a full on shake. I'm like, this party's on now. We have beers on ice. I'm like, let's keep this thing going.
Summerlicious, buddy. Summerlicious,
man. But speaking of beers on ice, thank you to Labatt Blue. I mean, both of you guys can jump in here, but how nice is everyone that works there for them? Everybody I meet, anytime we do anything with Blue Light, salt of the earth people, they love their beers, and once again, it was just like, how can you not love those people?
Yeah. For listen, they're competing in a big space, right? They're competing against the likes of the Coronas of the world and the Bud Lights and Labatt. Man, they have a great product. I love a nice cold Labatt Blue Light. They do sponsor, so they sponsor the Sabres, the Bills, and they got the Pittsburgh Penguins. So and the Detroit Red Wings. Actually, we did the home opener there. They all around the building, Labatt Blue Light. The only thing is Pittsburgh Penguins is a tough showing. They're tough showing, but the suite we were in, shout out to like the Labatt, but they got the whole suite. They got all their distributors in there, a lot of their local Labatt guys, a couple beauties there that we watched the game with. So they do the right thing, but in Pittsburgh,
I'll tell you what, like Swish, that was the flattest hockey club I've ever seen come out and put a display on the ice. Like, and listen, walking around the arena. Not that I forgot. I mean, I went in there many nights and took a -2, -3 on the chin and fucking jumped on the bus. Let's get the fuck out of here, boys. They've had an unbelievable run. But right now, to me, and we're going to get to the Missin Curfew hot seat, I want to talk about their head coach, but I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody that we talked to in Pittsburgh obviously loves Sid. A lot of the fans were like, they should have not brought Carlson in. They shouldn't have brought re-signed Malkin or Letang. But I'm just saying, Jay Switch, for how flat they were and no emotion in that building when the first place team in the NHL is coming in, that was concerning for me, man.
Yeah, I mean, until, Sid ended up chucking the mitts there and throwing both ways with Connor, it just seemed like he wasn't even mad. He just looked sad, man. He looked flat a little bit. He looked frustrated. And that team, Obi, they have a lot of, older guys, and they don't really have any prospects. They don't have any guys coming up through the ranks of Wilkes-Barre. Now, they just traded for that Phil Tomasino. Now, he's not going to move the needle at top. But if you're looking at...
I saw that trade.
Right, if you're looking at that roster, it's just like they don't have anything. And without Sid, I mean, they might be a number one overall type of category. Like, for sure a lottery team, but I don't know. If you're Sidney Crosby, boys, like, do you really want to ride it out and trust the Kyle Dubas plan to kind of get this thing rejuvenated and back on the screws? Or you're like, Mista, get me out of town, baby. I don't know.
Hey, you know the Mista lady? I think I just killed her.
I think legs hurt. That was the worst hockey game I've been to in a while. Sweet. That was horrible. There was something going on.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but watching, Sidney Crosby fighting like that, like I've seen a lot of things, but like for a low point for the Pittsburgh Penguins in say the last 10, 15 years, like just, they lose that game and then the Utah Hockey Club comes in and pumps them the next night. Like, is that not like one of the lower points you think Sid's ever, especially for a guy like just scored his 600th goal, signs a 3-year ticket, they got new placement in management, but 25 games into the season, you're fighting guys like that, and your team, no one else is fighting anybody. You're getting your ass kicked. I do look at it though, boys, as if they were to move a Sidney Crosby, and everyone, hopes that it might happen for hockey, but they could turn that thing around. Say they do finish dead last this year, and they're a top 3 pick. They could trade him now with 2 years left for 3-4 future first rounders, maybe another young or 2 prospects. There's a big package to be had if that, deal ever gets, if that deal moves, and they could turn that thing around in overnight. But right now,
I think that's the thing. Sid's got to look at it like, he's the only asset they really have left there. In Colorado, we were talking about it over some blue lights. Colorado is a team that makes sense to me because of Nathan McKinnon. And I think it was you, Jay Swish, or Richie that said, well, they got Casey Middlestat that could go back the other way. And I'll be honest with you, when they traded Bo Byron for Casey Middlestat, he was already behind the 8 ball for me because I love Bo Byron so much. And listen, Middlestat has tons of skill, but if you could trade Middlestat, you got like Ivan, and then, a guy in the back end like Sam Malinsky, a couple first-round picks going the other way to Pittsburgh, and now you have Crosby to come in to play behind McKinnon for the next 3 years. To me, that helps the Pittsburgh Penguins and obviously helps the Colorado Avalanche and will bring a step back to Crosby that he doesn't have, right? Like, Sid's playing great, but even his body language, right? Boys, Jay Swish, his body language from the Bat Blue Suite, even though I was, kind of one eye in it, he kind of looks sad. We're like, Sid kind of looks sad out there, doesn't he?
Like I said, he just looked like he was not unmotivated. He was just, when your shoulders are down and you get your tail in between your legs, Obi, it's just like, he looked like there's just no hope or no help that he could kind of work with. And you look at some of those other veterans you mentioned, Evgeny Malkin had a tough pizza early on in that game. Erik Karlsson's huff rate would never went over 50. Like,
that set the tone. Malkin comes out, third shift, fucking turns it over right in front of the guy, just goes, boop, boop. I'm like, oh, could be a long night. Could have been 7-0 in the first period.
Yeah, it really could have. But you just mentioned some of those veterans, like Letang was fighting a little bit. Obviously, Karlsson, I don't know what you're going to get back for him. You'd probably have to retain a good chunk of that salary. So, I don't know, boys. Sid's been there for 20 years. It's all he really knows. Do you think he's willing to lift that no trade and be like, hey, doobie fella, get me out of here. Get me to a team if you can, like Colorado. I don't know what it looks like, but I'd be willing to go, say, come March.
Yeah, and I think Uppy makes a good point. Like, I think if Sid did that, he'd be helping the organization, right? Like, it's all you want to play in one place. Like, it doesn't matter if Sidney Crosby leaves or doesn't leave. He's always going to be a legend in Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know how much it means to him to only play for one team. And I think if they were a little bit more competitive, but like, it's going to get worse before it gets better there. And he is literally, in my opinion, the only real asset that they have there to move. So he could help them speed up the rebuild by we'ing on, getting some assets, and then it's full. You buy out fucking the rest of them, and then it's
we'll just continue it. But the Getzlaf question I asked him about like, would you change the way that things like worked out? Yes, you finished a Duck, but you finished and management changed and opportunity here changed for you. And next thing you know, it's just not the same organization it was for your first 15 years. And you're like, what the fuck, right? And then you look at Patty Kane, who is still idolized in Chicago because he did just do that. He got to a point where he allowed himself to be moved. He knew things weren't perfect, and he's still a legend, and as he should be. And Sidney Crosby, no matter what happens, he could quit tomorrow if he wanted to. He's still going to be a legend. Or he really sits back, evaluates, and he brings the city some youth, and he goes and chases a cup for his last 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe he wins a cup and still plays 6 years. Who knows? He still can, but he's a very effective guy at under $9 million.
Let's say Crosby. Let's say they trade Crosby and my boy Landy gets back. You could go Letkin, McKinnon, Rantanen, Big Val, if you could keep it together, Crosby, Landeskog. Or put Landeskog up with, like, look at those two top lines.
Yeah.
Like, hello, how are you? It is like, we could win, the next, one or two in the next 2 or 3, 4 years. And it makes sense to me because him and Nate are boys. They're from the same town in Nova Scotia. Nate's already won one, so he proved that he can do it by, without Sid. But why not, team up here and squeeze every little bit of Sidney Crosby I have left? But I just think, Swish, that's the team that makes sense to me. I'd have to look around the other league. Maybe a team like, I don't know, Tampa it would work for him too. Go down there and play with Coop in the Sunshine State. But to me, it's Colorado that jumps out to me.
Yeah, I think that's the clear-cut favorite. But hear me out on this one, boys. What do you think about Brad Treliving? Would he, hypothetically speaking here, and he goes and knocks on Mitch Marner's door and says, hey, you know what, would you lift your no trade to go to Pittsburgh to reunite with Kyle Dubas, who will probably overpay you when you go there? You could re-ink when the time comes. How about Crosby to Toronto, play with those guys, playing as your 1-2 center? I mean, is that a move if you're Tree that you would be willing to make? Marner for Crosby? I mean, any day of the week, right? And twice on Sunday, even though Crosby is 37 years old. What do you think about that one?
Fucking Mitch Marner's proved me wrong right now, boys. He is just stuffing it up my fucking you-know-what. I mean, I watched him play the other night against the hockey club. Him and Tavares were the best players on the ice, hands down. Like, not even close. So I don't think Sid would go play in Toronto just because I don't think he wants to deal with the pressure of them not winning the Stanley Cup since whatever, 64 or 69. I should know that, whatever it was. So I don't think that makes sense. I just don't think he wants to deal with the pressure and the hotbed of, look at what's going on. Actually, I'm going to save Brady. I'm not going to rush Brady, but I don't think Updog,
No,
I don't think Toronto would be a good fit for him.
And then you'd have to hand him so much more than just a Mitch Marner that's going to, you're going to have to pay this guy 8 years for again, 10, 11 million bucks. I don't know. I would like to see it. I think, and if he could go there and win, it's legendary status. Obviously, whoever wins in Toronto is going to be a legend forever, but Sid, being number one. I think he, like Obi, like you said, he needs to go somewhere where those guys have already won. They've already felt comfortable without him, and he just adds to the mix of fire and adds to the, well, let's just go do this 3 more years in a row. McCann, it's a great.
When you think Western Conference too, right? Like, if you put him in Toronto, he's got to go to Pitt twice a year. You're in the Eastern Conference. Like, you put him out West, comes to Pitt once a year. It's not like he's always still in the same conference as a team that he obviously is the franchise of, but it's a shame that they're wasted Sidney Crosby's talent. But I will say this about the people of Pittsburgh too. Like, I already knew I was getting soft living in Newport Beach, but going back to Pitt made me realize I'm soft, man. But people in Pittsburgh are, as Swish would say, nail ass, man. Like, tough, blue collar, grab a blue light. Like, even that the one girl who's an unbelievable person, like, she was a tough Pittsburgh gal, right? Like, when she was talking, you're like, fuck, this girl, like, she's nail gun, Jay Swish, as you would say. Like, they're tough people, man. I was impressed, and I forgot. I guess I'm a pussy now, is what I'm saying.
Well, when we did leave the rink, there was a couple comments like, "Oh, Obes is getting soft," because we all walked outside, a little bit of rain, a little chilly. I
don't get my hair wet.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, fuck.
The coif. There's not wet.
I know 9 out of 10 people wouldn't leave this rink and just do what half these people are doing, just walking out in the street with the rain and like everyone's, you're sitting inside waiting for an Uber. Like,
no, we went to the Marriott. Back with the Labatt Blue guys, had a couple shots of JMO.
Oh, nice.
Another Labatt Blue there. So we went to the Marriott, waited for the Uber there, let the dust settle.
Yeah, but
called the Uber.
Well, yeah, but to my point, it's yours. Is like these guys they leave the game, they just get shit kicked. Yeah. And as a fan, you'd think they'd just be soft, but no, put their face right in it and they wait for the next game.
Yeah, they're nails. Speaking of a couple nail guns, I'm talking about Polacks with no future. Shout out to Eric Joe Polotowicz. They show up to William Penn Tavern. They got Missin Curfew swag on. I don't know. It was a proud moment for me, Updog, because these were 2 guys that I was like proud that they're wearing Missin Curfew gear. Both fucking guys. The one guy's working security at the arena. They came up and they're just beauties. So, boys, thanks for coming. Thanks for wearing the swag. And I was like, how buttery are those tees? And they're both like, these tees are so buttery.
Not to mention 3 brothers, boys, and the one young kid who works, I butcher his name, but he's a boxer and a good boxer and like runs a gym. And I was like, what makes you a good boxer? You're young. He's just like when I hit, it's a snap. Like it's Chris fucking hurts, and there's not many guys, I guess, in and around Pitt that can take him on. I know it was cool. He was the one that had the fella hat.
Yeah. He's the one that was working security.
Yeah, like, and I'm just like, let me feel it, and you can see the snap. Yeah, in the gut, But they're tough boys.
Great guys. They were great guys. Appreciate them. Thank you to everybody at Labatt, DraftKings, Hall Pass Media. Thanks for killing it. Boys, Thanksgiving week here, but more importantly, Jay Swish. We brought you on the team because we needed a single guy that's got some jump, fucking swag, good-looking cat. You cannot pass up the opportunity for Super Wednesday, can you? This was something that I had circled on my calendar when I played in the league, when I retired from the league and I was still single. There was nothing better than a home game on a Wednesday night. Take care of business. Super Wednesday, football all day. So what are you doing for your Super Wednesday, fella?
Well, it's not anything exciting as last year I was here in the Dale. I'm actually heading to the Chin of Bismarck, North Dakota to go hang out with my grandparents, my parents, sister, and then we're going to a game at the University of North Dakota, going to go watch my cousin. So I don't know what I'm going to get up to in Bismarck, but you go to Super Wednesday and you go to, like I call it, Blackout Wednesday. And this historically, boys, is the most Deweys given out per year. The stats don't lie, so don't be stick handling out there in all seriousness if you're getting after it. But yeah, this day, it's like everyone from their old high schools, their colleges, they get back together, they get around, and they just go buck titty, as Updog would say. They're drinking Jameson, Fireball, a lot of people puking, smoking darts. So this is probably the craziest day of the year. And Obi, like you said, a day that everyone looks out to because it's an absolute good old-fashioned piss-up.
Yeah, I loved it too because it was, I was only in these places for a couple of years, but let's call it my second year. You get that night of girls that you haven't seen. Where are these? What? How you doing? Where you been? How are you? Oh, you're leaving Friday? Okay, that's perfect. That's almost perfect for us. Let's. What do you want to drink? Let's have a night here.
Yeah, it all depends which city you're in, right? If you're in like a college town, they leave. If you're in a place like Newport Beach, they all come back.
I'm thinking Denver. My 2 years in Colorado, and two of my probably best Super Wednesdays where, it doesn't get the nickname Denver for no reason, right? Like it's slim pickings sometimes in Denver. Yeah, it's not like it's not L.A., New York. It's Denver for.
I always thought Denver had hot chicks, but that was just like
some hot chicks
from the outside looking in.
Quantity, it's not hard to run through there quickly. You know what I mean? Like,
that's good though. What do you got planned for? What do you got? I got my Scott and Mandy getting here tomorrow. I'm pretty excited to see my folks. Yeah, they're in town. We do the turkey and everything, but my mom this year is like, I'm doing the turkey. She's not too happy with how we smoked the turkey, me and my brother-in-law Matt. I think she wants to do the Newfie style Jig's dinner, bake it, and make sure she gets it nice and crispy. I don't think it's crispy enough for her.
I like that. Crisp it up. I'm chilling. Listen, boys. Tonight's the last night with my couch. I got a new couch coming Wednesday, 11 o'clock. And listen, there's going to be a moment of silence when that fucking thing leaves my apartment because probably one of my longest relationships ever was that couch. A lot of lonely nights on that couch. A lot of soul searching on that couch after a tough weekend laying there going, you know what, Obes, I might have to tighten it up here a bit, fella. So I got a new couch coming in, so I'm going to break that baby in. But I'm not going to lie, I'm sad to see.
Should we put it in the studio? Or
I asked A-Hall if he wanted in the studio. He declined. Did he? Yeah, he said he doesn't want it. He said there's not enough room. I said, okay, understood.
It's a nice couch, though. It'd be a shame to get rid of it with nothing.
Yeah. It's one of
You got to break that new one in two, Opes.
Oh, don't worry about that, but I'll break that by a bad boy.
I should take it for his 500 and a hook. He's got probably some dump couch in there. Yeah, that's a nice couch. I'd say keep that in the family somehow. Kyle, you need a couch? What do you need, bud?
Yeah, I tried
I was
to
just
sell
going to ask what kind of couch, fella.
There's a lot of damage done on that couch there. You
might have to ring it out. There's stains on it and shit too, bro. It's not exactly like
There's no LED light on that thing.
Yeah,
keep that away.
It's not exactly brand spanking new, There's some stains on it, some, stuff like that, but
yeah, I remember when you first got that couch at your old condo, bud.
Yeah, Larry Flowers spent a lot of time on that couch.
Oh, yeah.
That's
when a lot of time on everybody's couch.
Flowers was living with me when I first bought my pad in CDM, and I came home after a date or something. He's laying on my couch, scratching his nuts. I'm like, that's it. You're out of here tomorrow. I'm not fucking coming home to you scratching my nuts. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing, boys. I'm breaking in my new couch. I'm looking forward to it. A little bigger, a little deeper. I'm looking forward. But it's a sad day for me because I spent a lot of time on that thing.
Yeah.
As I know. But I'm getting rid of it. Anyone wants a couch, you got till tomorrow at 11 to pick it up. But Jumbo Joe Thornton, boys, here. A little last thing on our intro here. I often say if there's one guy I could have been in the NHL, I would say Joe Thornton was the guy I wanted to be. Big, puts up points, makes tons of money, can chuck him if he wants to, didn't wear a visor, sick tongues out, every teammate loves him, takes care of the trainers, hot wife, list goes on and on, right? It's like, why wouldn't you want to be Jumbo Joe Thornton? He retired. His suit looked unbelievable. His hat was fucking Lupul-esque from Aspen and Mac LS. I mean, that baby was custom. That wasn't off the rack.
Totally.
And for me, boys, and this is where I'll turn it over to both of you. We'll start with you. Like, every fucking teammate was there, I think. Like, it wasn't like, Dougie Murray flew over from Sweden. Like, every guy he played with early in his career, late in his career, At the end of his career, they were all there. And to me, that's the ultimate compliment for Jumbo Joe. But Jumbo, congrats. November 23rd will forever be Joe Thornton Day in San Jose too.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
No, it's well said. You touched everything. The one thing that, as a guy that played in the league as long as he did, and for us who played only half of that, we knew how well respected he was, not just to his teammates, but to the referees, to the trainers, to other opponents. I always looked at this guy like you'd see his whole team in Vegas at the end of the year.
Yeah.
He'd have the best suite at the MGM. He'd have the best tables at the nightclubs for all the guys. He'd be sitting at the card table with the boys till wee hours of the night. A team first mentality guy, a guy that, played the game unbelievably. Like the way he slowed it down to his level, played like Getzlaf always did, right? Like slowed the game down, made the right play, was a pass first mentality. Just a fucking monster too.
Yeah.
And you said it best, like having all those guys there. I look at those San Jose Sharks teams, boys, back in the day. They were always hard to play against. They always were having a good time. And you'd go in and you get your ass kicked, and these guys, you just knew how tight they were. So, well done. I thought they did a great job. Joe Thornton, congrats. You're a legend.
Yeah, I'll just echo a little bit what you guys said. Obviously, that hat, that suit, that hat, boys, that's like coming off the top shelf. It was nicely Aspen. Like, that was just nice and just iron, crispy. That looked great. But the one story I thought was cool, and they were kind of doing some specials with the San Jose Sharks and a little bit just leading up to the retirement of the jersey, was a cool story that featured Jason Demers and Jumbo sitting down. And JD told a story about how Jumbo Joe, when Demers got traded, actually called JD's dad and, thanked him, said his kid was a wonderful kid, this and that. So it's just like, you don't really hear of that old school mentality like that, Obi, like a guy taking the time to call a teammate's dad and just thank him for, all of the things his kid did, but not only raising a good human. So Jumbo Joe, I just wish I could have a beer with this guy someday. He just seems like an all-time felon. I've only heard nothing but good things. So
yeah, I only met Jumbo once, and it was in Vegas, what Uppy was talking about. He was in town with all the trainers and everything he does, and he came up to our table, and our table was just buzzing. It was fucking flying. I go, get in here, Jumbo. He's like, no, boys. You guys, I just came over to say hi. I'm going to go play some cards or whatever. I can't keep up to that pace of play. This was like at Marquee back in the day, Avicii style. It was like fucking wham, wham. Like it was going off, and he just said hi. He's like, but I don't want any part of that. So I just remember Joe being like, hey, boys, have a good time. But for me, I looked up the guy, like, how do you ever trade Jumbo Joe Thornton, right? Mike O'Connell. Anyone know who Mike O'Connell? He was the Bruins general manager who traded Joe Thornton.
Didn't he get traded with Stewart or the D-man?
He got traded for Marco Sturm.
Yeah.
A first rounder and somebody else.
Mark Stewart?
Did Mark Stewart go the other way?
I think so. David Poile, I'm a rookie. So what year was that trade? You're talking Boston to San Jose. 2003?
Bruins general manager traded for Thornton State. He would still make the trade. Sorry, it doesn't say what year.
Because David Poile, I'm sitting in Nashville. I'm there like you get caught, but with the GM in the room by yourself, you're just like fuck.
Yeah, this
Poile comes up to me.
Yeah, it was for Brad Stewart, Marco Sturm, Wayne Primo.
Primo.
So
Poile ain't hold. That's how you lose your job.
Yeah, or Poile grabs me and he's like, "So what do you think of this Thornton trade today?" And I'm like, it's a blockbuster. I couldn't tell you about all the other guys. Obviously, Wayne Primo at the time, but I'm like, and he looks at me. He's, what I think about it? One team won because there's an elite best player in this trade, and there's no one else.
No,
there's no one else. So usually, if you trade superstar, it's a toss up who wins.
Those are three legit NHLers. Wayne
Yeah.
Primo, I used to love him. I like Keith better, but I like Wayne. Brad Stewart won 1 or 2 Stanley Cups in Detroit, I believe. Yeah. And Marco Sturm was a great player against him when he was in L. They're all legit National Leaguers, every one of them.
Yeah.
But
there's no superstar.
Jumbo Joe Thornton.
Yeah.
2005.
2005, they traded him. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, he was runner-up for the Hart the year he got traded, I believe, right? Kyle, can you look that up too? I don't know if you can find that. I thought I heard that over the last couple of days.
The Art Ross winner who was traded mid-season.
Won the Art Ross the year he got traded. If he didn't get fired, how quick do a call get fired?
The captain.
No, he wasn't the cap. Where, in Boston?
Yeah, he was the captain at the time.
He was already the captain in Boston Bruins?
Yeah,
they traded their captain.
That's like selling Babe Ruth to the fucking Yankees back in the day, eh?
Tell me Cam Neely wasn't involved in that.
Seabass? Seabass, I don't think was. Seabass I don't think he made that decision, really. Mike O'Connell. Anyone know who Mike O'Connell is? I've never heard of that.
No. but someone lost their job over that.
Yeah, Mike did. He's never been hired since. That's how you get fired. But
Doug Wilson pulled a good one off.
yeah, Dougie Wilson.
Yeah.
Dougie Wilson. But Doug, you're right. Just to put a bow on the whole, Thornton and the San Jose Sharks, tough place to play back.
You play
there.
Good team.
Marlowe, him, Ryan Clough, Setaguchi,
Dan Boyle,
Bayswell, Joel Pavelski, Logan Couture when he came in the league. They had Rafi Torres for a bit.
Hide your chin, Rafi Torres. Hide the chin.
Have your chin inside. Actually, wear a turtleneck that day and have your chin. Hey, remember how sick Chichu was too? He had those 50 full season. Hell yeah. You made him a player too, boys. I mean, Chichu's a great pro, but 50 tucks.
Yeah. And it was great. Jumbo said at the end of his speech, like he said when he retired or whatever, he said, "I'll see you at the rink, boys." Hey, guy loves the rink. He loves the rink. So, Jumbo, congratulations. We'll be right back at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew, fellas. It's the Missin Curfew Dog of the Week. We touched on this, but for me, I'm giving it to Sidney Crosby for fighting Kyle Connor. Listen, we were there. We loved it. It was the loudest the building got. For Sidney Crosby to get out there and chuck him at 37 years old with everything he's won, to still have that physicality to his game and that old school nature. Sid, you are my Missin Curfew Dog of the Week, fella.
Oh, buddy, last but not least, our boy Robert the Bobo Tuzzi. Robert Bertuzzo returns to the Utah lineup. I actually was there a couple weeks ago. He said, "Fuck up, dog. It's not looking good. Like, I might have played my last game here. I don't know what the hell's going on." But he's the ultimate guys guy. Yes, this is our little private conversation we had. Listen, returns to the lineup in Boston. They two fucking healthy scraps against a beast of a guy. Keslick is how I pronounce his last name. Kid's tough. Bobo got out there, chucked twice. I know we were at the bar that night watching it. It was absolute beauty. And then we had lunch with him and your bro Nick the next day in Pitt. A couple beauties, little pregame meal for the boys. But listen, Bobo, hell of a job. Back in the lineup, back in the mix. My boy, Dog of the Week. Oh,
Yeah, that was awesome to see him. And obviously, we looked up during that football game, like, oh my God, Bobo's throwing twice straight. Chicken, baby, shuck, duck, and fuck. And that's exactly what he was doing. So it was cool to see him, honestly, the next day and talk about. We had a good laugh there, up dog. But boys, my Missin Curfew Dog of the Week comes out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Paul Biz Nasty Bissonette going both ways against 7 dudes the other night outside of an establishment I frequent a lot in Houston's on the corner of McDonald and Scottsdale Road. So just wanted to give a couple clicks to Biz Nasty, friend of the show, obviously, boys. And you know what? Speaking of chucking and ducking, he wore a few, but as he said, I threw more. So just want to give him his props. Hockey guy tough there. And you know what? Just trying to do the right thing. And sometimes, you go to a restaurant and a tilt breaks out. So, a couple clicks, the old busy boy.
Yeah, good for you. Good on your business. I'm glad you're all right. I just texted him, yo, you all right, bro? He said, yeah, I'm good, dude. Thanks for reaching out. Not that Biz needs the press, but fuck, I was just like, this is more press. This is almost like Donald Trump getting shot at his fucking rally. Biz coming off the turf, 7-on-1. It's like, here we go, fella. So, not that he needs the press. Oh, all serious, I'm glad he's all right. The question,
I mean, these idiots.
who the fuck he was with there?
Yeah, and I go belly up and have a nice dinner at a restaurant by myself, whatever. This is like us going to a restaurant. Next thing you know, some fucking idiots are there being completely rude, disrespectful, and you are the one that mans up and tells them to fucking calm down.
Yeah, 8 restaurants. I've almost been like 10 fights there, so that's tough for me to like. That's tough. That's in all honesty, I listen. I suspended myself from a restaurant. I went there the other day, a couple months ago, with Todd Pickup and T-Rex for some chicken piccata. But me and Uppy used to go there every Friday night. Every Friday night when Uppy retired. And like the last couple times I'm going there, I was getting like in altercations. And the last time I tried to call the guy's bluff and he didn't bluff. And I'm like, imagine this guy drags me out, kicks the shit out of me. I'm like, I can't go there anymore. So I kind of suspended myself.
But it's not like, okay, one-on-one fights. Yeah. That's everyday fucking type shit men get into, right? But these are 7 idiots that I hope they wake up today, regret everything they did, and know that they got it coming, because it's an onslaught of stuff online. It's, you fucked up. You guys are going to spend some time in the clink. And just cowards. Yeah. Just coward. Who fucking kicks guys in the head when they're down? Who fights 7-on-1 anyway? These idiots. I mean, I'm glad he's okay.
Guy in the head
I did say, Biz, this just puts you up there. You're already a legend, but you're just like, you fought 7 guys by yourself. There's going to be videos of it, I remember, and then I said, when I was talking to him, I'm like, remember Aves fucking knocked out the 3 guys in West Village on the street too? And it brought him to legendary status too. It's like, Who fucking gangs up on guys to fight them like that? It's stupid.
Yeah, I'd say, Biz, you're too rich now to be fighting anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you had to fight your whole career to make it to where you are. Now you're way too rich. I would say he should have just sat back, had a glass of Cabernet, and just held the fort till the cops showed up. But, hey, listen, Biz, he's the OG in this game, and he's killing it off the ice and making tons of dough, which is good for him. But he was as tough as they came when he played. So his mentality still deep down is, and I respect that. I get that a little bit. I have it a little bit left in me, not like I used to, thank God. But you ran with me. Like, there was times you're like, oh, I'm tightening up. I'm like, fuck this guy. And Biz still has that. And it's just unfortunate that it took 7 guys to.
What are the odds that not one out of the 7 guys knew who he was? Do they not watch fucking? There must be Midland fucking just trash. Midland, Texas trash. You're like, what?
All press is good press for Biz. Yeah, I mean, well, he's got the Barstool Army behind him now. I mean, listen, it's all press is good press, baby. I think it'll be a good thing in the end.
Hey, one more thing I want to touch on Bertuzzo just quick, and we can add it is, and this for Bobo, this is the second time in his career he fought the same guy in one game twice. The other guy, Jordan Tutu. I'm like, Bob, fuck, that's how you make a statement, though. You get back in there, fight the toughest guy twice.
Yeah.
Just once.
Yeah.
Well done, bud.
Yeah, I fought Todd Bertuzzi twice in Nashville. He ragdolled me both
in the same game, right?
Yeah. I fought him coming out of the ball. He ragdolled me, and I came out of the ball. He ragdolled me again. He actually threw the biggest right hand that missed me. That if it would have hit me, it would have been bad. Bobble, that a boy. Biz, I'm glad you're okay. DraftKings, baby. Presented by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you're more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings. The crown is yours, fellas. Bets, and more bets. Listen, boys, I'm a little fucking gun shy right now. I'm in one of the worst slumps of my betting career here for the last 4 years. We've been doing it here. I took the Kraken last night against the Ducks because Monty Kid fella reached out to me a couple weeks ago and said, "Obes, we're having a rookie party. What do you think of Javier's parlayed into the Whaler?" I said, "It's probably a pretty good bet. I'm sure they had a good time." I just knew that veteran team coming off a rookie party would find a way to get it done. On Sunday night, I took the Leafs over the hockey club. I just figured the hockey club flying in. You remember, you play in the States, you get the game over, you got to fly to Canada, you got to go through customs, you got to get on the bus, you got to get to the hotel. It's just, I played the customs into it and everything like that. Got that one done. And then Jay Swish's lock of the night, I took the hockey club over the effortless, no hustle Pittsburgh Penguins. So I've had a decent stretch, and then my football, just to wrap it up, I took the Ravens last night because I thought it was a must-win money line. But I was on the wrong side of the Rams. They played like the Lambs. Credit to the Eagles. Fucking Saquon Barkley's a beast, but I haven't been betting much football. I'm a little gun shy. I went 1-1.
Yeah, it was an eventful weekend. Obviously, we went in. We're betting on DraftKings in Pittsburgh. I thought we did well. I had a bunch of parlays, same game parlays for that Pittsburgh Penguins game against the Winnipeg Jets. First period over, Jets money line. First period, Kyle Connor to score a goal. So I actually did pretty good while we were out there, boys. Thank God. I needed to reload that. I had been reloading that DraftKings account way too much, so that was good. Listen, I went to the Rams game. Wore my Eagles outfit. Obviously, I'm a bandwagoner kind of. I did live in Philly. I do like the Eagles. I don't really dress up in gear to go to games, but I did. We had great seats. Nate Thompson was with us. My boy Vince Dunn, who's on the road with the boys, he came to the game. And Flowers and I we threw a massive moneyline bet on Philly. I didn't even really know that they went off as crazy as they did. I missed the Saquon Barkley at the start of the third quarter, his 75-yard heartbreaker touchdown. I didn't know that their running game was breaking NFL records for yards in a game.
He's leading the league in rushing now, although Big Derrick Henry had a big night last night. Their offensive line is just fucking monstrous, and the Lambs' defense is...
Yeah, they were
like Lambs, not Rams. But yeah, man, that Saquon Barkley, not Antonio Brown. I'm thinking
AJ Brown.
Yeah, you kept saying Antonio Brown all weekend. I got it in my head, bro. The first thing, we're driving by Heinz Field and Jay Swish is like, "Oops, I gotta find my way to Antonio Brown, fucking Jersey fella." But yeah, the Eagles, man, I just don't know if their defense is good enough. But what do I know? I'm not John Madden or anything here.
And then to touch on, boys. I mentioned this to you boys on the road when the Boston Bruins let go of Jim Montgomery, and we'll get to that. But, I've been evaluating these bets, and I actually started to Google it yesterday before I tweeted something. But, these new teams that get these coaches, for numerous reasons, that they're going to give you the best game. Whether guys are like, fuck, it's a clean slate, or the new coach comes in and says, guys, we just got to tighten it up. Let's play simple. Give me your 60 best. Or and I've been traded a bunch of times, so I know what it's like to play for a new coach, and you get that first impression one time to show him that, like, you fucking care, whether you go out and fight a guy or you're blocking shots and you usually don't. Well, in this case, we had 2 games this week. We had the Boston Bruins with a new coach who used to have
1-0. They scraped one out for the boys.
and then we had the St. Louis Blues going in to play MSG, a big game. New York Rangers just got shit kicked by Edmonton on the road. They do their Western swing. Talk about customs, but they had to fly all the way back to the East Coast. So there's a couple reasons, but the line was plus 180 for the St. Louis Blues to win. They played Hoffer, their backup goalie, but I looked at it as the value of this bet with a new coach, a guy that all these Blues are familiar with. They all love Montgomery when he's an assistant coach. And I tweeted it. I said, for a bunch of reasons, boys, I hope you highlight this game. There's great value in a money line bet. So I took that.
You're plus 150.
Plus 180 yesterday. So my $1,000 won me a nice chunk. I watched that game, and I took them at the puck line, which was minus 140 for them to keep it within 1 goal. So there was a double whammy.
Double whammy. I watched that game. Who the fuck is Bolduc for the St. Louis Blues? You ever heard of this kid, Jay Switch? Because he was absolutely...
he was flying.
Yeah, he was a high pick.
He was flying around MSG like he wasn't at due west till fucking last call. I tell you what, he had some get up and go in his stride. I want, looking at it from the Rangers' perspective, it's time to, Adam Fox. Listen, I think that the shine is rubbed off on him. Keandre Miller, they're diesel. Trouba, I don't know who's worse right now, Jacob Trouba or Darnell Nurse. I actually thought, I was sitting there watching the game thinking, maybe they just trade for each other. Maybe he just trade Trouba to Edmonton and Nurse to New York and just be like, maybe that'll work out. Maybe, then Edmonton gets a right-handed D-man that's making a little less, and Nurse is a left-handed D-man that I can play with. It's not going to happen. But when I look at 2 defensemen that are struggling, that are making lots of money, Trouba, I love the Trouba train. I know you do, Swish. He's struggling right now. Yeah. But the Rangers, the way they're playing under Peter Laviolette, Swish, just real quick, like, it's loose, it's sloppy, and I don't know if you guys remember, but at the start of the season when Shesterkin turned down the fucking $11.5 million, I was like, boys, and he doesn't look like the Igor from last year where he was, kicking everything in the playoff Swish.
Yeah, I just think, like you said, like Adam Fox, obviously he's a Norris Trophy winner. I've said it numerous times on this podcast and even other platforms, but like, I just don't think you can win a Stanley Cup with that guy being your number one. Your big horse back there playing against a team like the Florida Panthers coming into a 7-game series in a playoff series. And then the other thing is, I don't know, like, has Zibanejad kind of worn off? Kropper's struggling. Panarin is down in the dumps. Like, to me, in New York City, you need some character in there. You need, like, a guy that will come in and kind of take some of that heat or distract a little bit off the star players like a Avery, or I'm not saying Tony Giangelo is going to come back in the mix because I don't think they need him, but just someone like with a little bit of personality, a little flash, a little flair to kind of complement those bright lights and those star players of playing at MSG, boys. I just think they need some jam in there, and they're missing it. They just look like they're flat, they're soft, and I don't know. And is Zibanejad and Panarin, to me, at playoff time, they're kind of the same type of player, a perimeter righty that you probably only need one of those guys making the real big bucks.
Yeah. And you know what? Chris Drury's in a situation where it might be time to, like, I don't think firing Peter Laviolette's the answer. I think he's, obviously last year they were President's Cup winners, went to the conference finals. Matt Rempe played last night. Say whatever you want. Say whatever you fucking want. That kid would be in my lineup every single night. He took a dumb play against Neighbors. But like, Neighbors woke up this morning being like, oh, I fucked my neck's in one. My neck's. And then he ran that little Aussie kid, Walker knocked his bucket off. It was the only time there was any energy on MSG the entire game. Watch the whole 60 minutes. You talk about Zibanejad. He made a fucking weak-ass play behind the net, threw it fucking blind, then took his sweet-ass time, breakaway to Braden Shen in a 2-2 hockey game, and Shenner goes in and rips it low blocker on a goal that I didn't think would beat Shesterkin last year.
Yeah,
good shot.
Yeah,
low blocker.
Yeah.
But man, New York Rangers, they got to do something big, I think. Drury, it's time to make some kind of move. And I think Zibanejad, Jay Switch is on something up. That might be the guy.
Yeah, when are we going to start getting some trades anyway? Like, we need to mix it up a little bit. Because these big boys, you're talking New York Rangers. Yeah, we need the New York Rangers to be good. It'd be great to have the Pittsburgh Penguins to be good. But let's start making some splashes. Let's get the GM. What is the next GM meeting? They got to get in there, get drunk, have some little vino, and start slinging it, don't they?
Drunk trades. I think you try not to make drunk trades. I would say GMs in the NHL try not to make drunk trades.
I think that's when it all happens.
No, you might be right. Yeah. Listen, when I try to make trades in fantasy, I'm usually got half a glow on, but I would say some of the younger GMs probably not, but you might get the old school like Brian Burks being like, I'm going to give fucking Daryl Sutter a call right now, or whoever it is, and be like, hey, let's make a fucking deal. My team stinks, Jay Swish?
Yeah, but I was watching that game, boys, and not to get too tactical over here, but that their slot coverage in that soft F3 area was so bad. Oh, is that something that's effort related? Is that it looked a lot of times like the center wasn't connected with the defenseman, and there was like Kyrou had like 9 or 10 chances right in the slot. Shen had a few. Is that something that falls on coaching, or is that just complete effort? Like, you know what I mean? I was watching. That was my one observation.
No,
watching their team play, they just look so soft.
That's a great observation. They're just not connected, right? Everything is just disconnected. Their center's not in the right spot. Their net front D's leaving when he shouldn't. They're not doing the right thing in the neutral zone, and they're just loose. And that is coaching, but I also think it's personnel that they have so much high-end skill that it's just like, oh, well, we're going to skill our way out of it. And St. Louis, I don't know if this is Monty coming in and already putting his fingerprints on it, but talk about the other way, connected, holding the middle, keeping them the outside. I'm watching this going, there's no danger right now. They're just fucking going like this the entire night. And they did a great job, and they defended well. Pranko played good. Sutsy. I mean, Monty's got to be a little excited about the St. Louis Blues team he's taken over. Like, they're not as bad as their record would indicate right now, and that's why they're, Dean Bannister got piped,
Yeah, and I would say this, there's a hot seat out there, and Obes, you've been mentioning a few guys on it lately, but, with these teams who have these coaching changes and the way they play, like coming out of the gate, these coaches on the hot seat got to be like, fuck, these coaches are, they get this team who should be better than they are, gets a new coach, and all of a sudden they start playing really good hockey. Like, fuck, my phone might be ringing.
No, listen, I got the hot seat coming up, and it's exactly what I'm thinking of coaches out there that have jobs right now, because you saw Monty, right? He gets fired. Yeah, well, what Doug Armstrong say when he says, when I see something delicious on my plate, I fucking take a bite out of it or something, he said to Army. It's just like, it's a unique situation. So, good bet by you, up dog. I will say this, another football bet I forgot. I was like, you did worse than that. The fucking Commanders stuck it to me against the Cowboys.
Yeah, man. The Cowboys do it. What's that guy doing at the end of the game? Not making that fucking. Doesn't he have the extra point to tie? And
he shanked it. My old fucking driver, Shanky.
I will say this: that play on the kick on that punt return was that was the sickest play of the year. I think that guy Spinorama. He dropped the ball, held it up with one hand. It was a video game.
That was old school Madden where you hit the fucking one button, he spins out of it. It's only this move I had.
Wow, that was so sick.
Yeah. Speaking of sick, Uppy, last thing here on DraftKings. For you that are lucky in the States and the province of Ontario where it's legal, that DraftKings app is money. And if you don't want to, if you're not a fucking complete degenerate like myself and don't want to bet stupid, you can just tickle the infield there. Like, you can just put $5 here on player props, and they got so many cool player props and parlays that they put together that give you great odds. So you can, I guess what I'm saying here is, and not just because of ours, but you can bet responsibly there. You really can. That's the one thing I took away from being in the great state of Pennsylvania is I tickled the infield. I had some action. I didn't fucking, lose my shirt. So it's a great app. Thank you again to DraftKings, and boys, hopefully my luck can turn because I've been on a cold streak here. But you know what helps with cold streaks, up dogs? The Bat Blue Lights.
Presented by the Bat Blue Light, the pristine Pilsner. Enjoy your beers together, boys, so you can live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer. Labatt USA in Buffalo, New York.
Bella. Ooh. It was nice. I opened up that fridge in the suite. All tall boys. All about blue tall boys.
Bedwetters, as they say.
You know what we didn't do? I kind of looking back, I was kind of just going through the whole weekend. We did shotgun a beer. Or I didn't anyway. Excuse me. I didn't shotgun.
No, I didn't either.
Right?
In fact, fuck. Yeah, well, what are we thinking?
That was a rookie move by us. Did you shotgun any beer, Swiss?
I didn't know, but we're going to get up to Buffalo, and I did hear you say, and I'm going to hold it to you, Obi, that the next time we're in Buffalo, you're going through a table. So you're on the record for that, brother.
Yeah, Jay Swiss, and thanks to our boy Jason Fullerin. Jay, I hope I said that right, fella. We are going to go to the great city of Buffalo, Chippewa Street. It's not going to probably be till next fall, but I will go through a table, and for being a big guy, I don't have to go very high. I don't have to go off the top rope to go through it, right? I never said I'm going to the top rope. I just got to go to the middle rope and fucking booyah right through it. But we are going to go to Buffalo in the fall of next year. Jay's all fired up. He's like, that's my backyard. We're going to do it. Jay Swiss, I can't wait to see you get up there with the people of Buffalo. Those are your type of people.
Yeah, I'm going to come in hot. I'm not sure what jersey I'll be sporting up there, but I'll have to think of something good. And you know how much I love Chippewa Street. Shout out to Chippewa Street. Shout out to Mother's. Great restaurant there, and Gabe's Gate as well. So that's a town that throws first. They ask questions later, Obi.
Yeah, speaking of throwing first here, get this guy, Labatt Blue. Jacob Markstrom, 500 games in the NHL. Jersey's going well. Updog, I know you play with him. I know you love Marky. 500 games for a goaltender is pretty legit, so I wanted to get him a Labatt Blue. And Devils won last night at home against the Preds. I think they can go as far as Marky can take him, Updog. You know what I mean?
And if Marky's not there, Jake Allen, I think this is the best 1-2 partner for goaltenders in the league. Listen, I loved Marky from the minute he got there as this tall Swede that couldn't speak like the proper English, buttoned up guy, man. Loves, great teammate, got a new baby. Listen, what a guy. 500 games.
Good style,
fella. Well
good
done.
style. Marky's got good style. I'm going to keep dishing here, boys, before I turn it over to you.
Go for it, baby.
Sidney Crosby, get yourself a Labatt Blue. It was a day late and $1 short, much like my playing career. We bet on him the night before. Didn't get it. As much as we were chirping Carlson gave him a backdoor, a little half booyah, and Sid put it in from a tough angle. 600 career goals. Sidney Crosby, get yourself a Labatt Blue. And then last but not least for me, Alex Ovechkin, who we're going to talk about on our milk carton. He's sitting courtside, drinking a beer. You can't bring down Ovi. You can't bring him down. He's going to, even though he's hurt, he's going to go there, sit courtside of the Wizards game, drinking a Labatt Blue. Ovi, you're old school. You're a beauty. Updog, I love it. That's an old pro there.
That is an old pro. Well done. Boys, I'm going to slide one to Celebrini, Macklin Celebrini. Since returning, boys, this was noted today, tied for first in points with rookies at 8, first in even strength points with 6, 5 goals, 2 game winners. What a snipe he had last night, an absolute missile. Get yourself a Labatt Blue. I don't even know if he's old enough in the U.S. to have a Labatt Blue Light, but damn well he should have one.
Boys, I know this guy's a nerd. I played from in San Antonio, but I'm going to slide a cold Labatt Blue to Drew Bannister after told to pack his shit after 22 games. It's like when she dumps you, boys. It's not you, it's me. Well, actually, no, the whole thing is on you. I just found a better option. So hopefully he's not down to the dumps like John Beckwith and Wedding Crashers reading that book called Don't Jump. But, Banjo, buddy.
Don't worry about the book. It's not my book. I may have glanced at it a couple times. Get out, hillbilly. I'm reading Don't Kill Me books. I thought it was your book. Stop. Yeah, but when he goes, hey, it's John. Oh, whatever. His voicemail, hey, it's John. Oh, whatever. Oh, so, yeah, hopefully Banny's all right. You'll land on your feet, bud, and you're still getting paid. So, you know what? It could be worse. Kyle, you're dishing out the blue light. What do you got, fella?
Yeah, I just wanted a little shout out to Arizona State Ice Hockey right over there with you, Swish. They were unranked going into this weekend, but they swept Denver. Number one, Denver hadn't lost in I don't know how many games. Just a big weekend for the boys out there.
Good on you, boys. How are they unranked? Do they need us to come in and do the recruiting for them? If you can't,
now they're ranked.
You're a talent. If you can't sell a hockey player on coming to ASU with the hottest, maybe friendliest girls, how can you not? What's the recruit Swiss? They got to hire you to recruit here, fella. What do they need?
I mean, they should put me on staff, boys. I think so. Greg Powers is the friend of the show, so I know him, head coach there. And, yeah, I mean, Mullet Arena, obviously 2 years old now, whatever it is. Campus life there. I mean, boys, look, if you're not going to the staples of North Dakota, Denver, BC, Michigan, like, why would you go play at St. Cloud State or Duluth? No offense to those programs. You're going down south, and you're chasing it.
Fuck. Chasing it.
I couldn't imagine, boys.
I mean, unless you just, the only thing would be if like your dad stepped in and was like, hey, Uppy, you're not going to ASU. Like, this is not going to be good for your career, maybe, right? Like, there's too many distractions for a young William Upshaw that was, horned up, ready to rock, right? Like, that would be the only downside if a parent, like, stepped in, like, maybe you should go play for St. Cloud, or maybe you should go play for the Maine Black Bears, right? Go play in Maine, Harry Boxes there. Go up there and play in Maine. Like, other than that, it's not a tough sell to get these guys to sign down there. No. Good weekend, boys. But
and as a parent, why wouldn't you want your kid to play down there? You get to go watch them.
STDs are not even a real thing anymore either.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about STDs anymore. I don't know, but like you got the mullet, you got the sun, you got just the life, babes.
I actually can't imagine a young William Upshaw with the frosted tips coming in from Fort McMurray. Oh my God, the ASU, that would be nuts.
Oh, bud, he would have left his fucking legs in the dorm room.
He'd still be there. Who are we kidding?
A lot of people go to college for 7 years. Yeah, that guy here's
if you're up to year 25.
A lot of guys go to year 7 years. They're called, yeah. And coming back for his 26th season on left wing, Scotty William Upshaw. He's got kids, they freak kids in the crowd, eh?
Yeah, look at that.
Just joking, ASU, but come on. I'm glad you guys are ranked. Good way to sweep the Denver. What's Denver called? What is their team called?
Pioneers.
The Pioneers. I knew that. Used to spend a little time on DU campus there at Caldwell's Bar. It was called Crimson and Gold. Are they Crimson and Gold?
Crimson and Red or Crimson and whatever it is. Yep.
Got pinned there many nights. So, boys, get a little bat blue in you. It is milk carton time here at Missin Curfew. We touched on Ovi. I was giving him a beer because he was crushing beer courtside, looking good in a nice little, what I just assumed was a Gucci fucking Russian tracksuit. Like, you know what I mean? You know those ones? Hudobin the Mad Russian used to wear them all the time. He's out 4-6 with a broken, what does he got, boys? A broken fibula? Yeah, fibula. Listen, first of all, I didn't watch the game he got hurt. I never knew Tom Wilson jumped in and fought McBain.
Yeah.
So good on Willie. Good on McBain for fighting him because I do think it was an accident, right? McBain's kind of kamikaze out there anyways, right? Swiss, no one's safe when that big bastard's on the ice, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a kid that he's a little bit out of control, like when you're going down too big of a ski run sometimes. You know what I mean? You kind of hit the guardrail a little bit and you get those shakes in your knees. That's what it looked like. He just kind of came in out of control, obviously clipped Ovi, but good on Boehner for answering the bell, boys. I mean, you didn't have to do that. I mean, the code of hockey says yes, but in this day and age, you never know. So good on Big Bad Boehner there for, chucking him with Tommy Wilson, man. He's going up a weight class for sure.
Yeah, it was great on both parts. Willie, love you. Should be on Team Canada. Boehner, way to get in there, chuck him. Updog, were you happy when Ovi got hurt? Like, you can be honest. No.
No. I'm listen,
because he was about to blow by Gretz fucking by St. Patty's Day.
This is not an injury though, and everyone will attest. This is not an injury of someone being a little old or maybe just a little out of his prime. This was just a freak accident, and it sucks for hockey because he was on an absolute tear, leading the league in goals. I mean, fucking just pumping.
27 away he was.
I know. So listen, no, I don't want anyone to get hurt.
I'm just saying you don't want him to break the record. I know you don't want anyone to get seriously hurt, but like, was there a part of you that I love Gretz too, just like you do? But hey, I know it's there, Ovi. Let's just
break the record. I didn't think he was going to do it in the fashion that it was going at.
Yeah,
and it sucks for hockey right now.
I'm concerned
he's going to be back.
And the only reason I really wanted to break it is because I played against him, and he's the best goal scorer I ever played against. And I do think Gretz does want him to break it, and I think it'll be good for hockey. I'm just worried that he's only 27 away, but is this the start of? He's no spring chicken, right? I know it's a kind of a freak accident, but Swish, are you worried that this could lead to more injuries and this could be something? Because listen, he's out 4-6. Let's say it's 4 weeks. By the time he comes back, he's got to get going again. Now we're looking at, what are we looking at? January. We're looking at February, right? I mean, are we looking early January, mid January, or when do you think he'll come back to where he's back feeling good? You know what I mean?
I mean, depending on what kind of Russian gas he's working with. I mean, he's one of those guys that's just a freak of nature, Obi. And I do know one thing about how Alex Ovechkin scores a lot of his goals. As long as he can straight leg, stand over there on the left flank and hammer one-tees, he's going to be all right. And I just think that he is such a specimen in the way he can score goals that it's almost like a timeless act. Like a lot of these guys, they rely heavily on speed or the different things with their wrist shot. And Ovi's a guy that can just literally stand over there, as you boys know so well, in his office and just hammer pucks while tickling the ceiling over there. So as long as he can do that, maybe get wheeled in on a wheelchair if needed, he's going to be able to score until he wants to say no. So I just think he'll be okay once he gets his footing. And with that shot, man, especially on the power play, no one's been able to stop it yet. So
yeah, I'm interested to see like if he really is, he's 27 away, as you said, Obes, and like, does he see that as the main goal? Does he see getting back and helping his team win as the main goal? But like to be a fly on the wall right now in the Washington dressing room and watching him like get through this rehab, still be a good teammate, stay in shape. Like there's a big, as an injured guy mid-season, it sucks. You want to be out there with your team. I couldn't imagine knowing that, I got to get back there and do it. Do you rush it because you want to get those goals? It's better than a torn ligament. It's better than a high ankle sprain. It's a broken bone. They do heal. But if you're sitting there and you're injured, you're not hustling. It could be your question of when is he going to be ready? That could be prolonged.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
The Caps are in the mix here. They're third right now in the Metro, 29 points. They are, 5 points in or 6 points in the playoffs. So I'm sure he wants to get back because they were rolling. They were a fun team to watch. They had veteran guys, and they were playing well.
I wouldn't be surprised, boys, if you heard like in 3 weeks, 4 weeks that he's skating and like he actually pushes it to come back earlier than 6 week mark. I think a broken bone, if he can handle the pain, he's playing.
Yeah, I just thought like how great is it that he's about to break the greatest player of all time's record. He just got hurt, and there he is, boots on the hardwood, drinking beers, like. Not even like, he's just like, fuck, it happens. And like that mentality to me was like, this guy's a fucking legend. Obi's just sitting courtside, just got hurt. Oh, let's go watch the Wizards. Let's go take in the match, Jay Swish.
You think he brought the tweezers just in case he got a splinter sitting on the wood there, Hopes?
I don't know, but this guy's a legend, man. And I hope he gets back quick. Last for me on the milk cart, I don't know if you boys have any. If you do, jump in after. Miles Wood. I love Miles Wood. When the Avs signed him, I thought he was a great signing. However, I got to keep you honest here. I know losing 8-2 in Tampa sucks, but you can't go off the ice and fucking smash your stick over the fucking stands and then drill your head coach in the face with a broken stick. He drilled Bednard right in the forehead. I can't imagine what Bedsy said to him after. I can't imagine what was said. Kids out there, if you're going to break your fucking stick, do it in the dressing room. Do not do it near the bench or definitely near your head coach. So up dog, Miles Wood, I take you on my team, kid, but you're on the milk cart for Joe and Bedsy between the eyes.
I know. And just so everyone knows, like that, everyone gets pissed off, and that can happen in a split second. And I know firsthand, I watched a teammate do it to another teammate and took out all of his teeth. And it was out of just being pissed off. You go to smash your stick over the crossbar. I'm not going to mention names, but it was one of my teammates' worst experiences as a hockey player, taking out his teammates' teeth, because those chiclets on the ice like that are never perfect.
Especially with your head coach, AJ Swiss, tough to get down.
Never perfect.
Tough to look. You call head coaching after them, be like, sorry about that, Bedsy. Like, what do you say to that?
I don't know what you say because Bedsy's got great flow, 6 suits, and you're struggling as a team as is. And yeah, I don't know. You just kind of wear that one. Maybe take him out for a nice dinner or something. I don't know how you repay him.
There's some money on the board. There's some money on the board big time next game for him. And it's just like, I'm sure I all broke my stick. I tried not to, but like.
I used to break him on the bench, and you know how I would? It would be like this. Like hitting it just in and snapping the top half off.
Yeah, that's probably a better play.
That was kind of how I used to break it.
And I was just thinking, like, why would you you smash it up? God forbid you hit a fan. Now you're going to get fucking sued. Like, it was just a completely stupid thing by Miles Wood, who I love. But I was just like, dude, I got to throw you on the milk carton for just not using your, it's lucky.
In junior, I put my skate through the glove dryers, those box, like the red box glove dryers. I came in. And I felt so fucking bad after, like my Spike Wallace, shout out to he was a legend coach. He was a legend trainer we had in Kamloops. Everyone had him from Donor, Recchi, Tyson Nash. Like when Hitch was a coach, we all had Spike as our trainer, and he bought this new fucking glove dryer. Probably when the glove dryers just came out, and I came off the ice. We're in like Portland, and I'm pissed off, and in stupid fashion, selfish fashion, I put my foot right through the fucking glove dryer. And then I remember he just taped on like a calendar of like a girl, like a bikini girl on the hole for the rest of the year to try to keep the heat in there. But you do that, you're just like, you immediately are like, what a bonehead stupid play. You immediately regret it.
Breathe, boys.
And unlike when guilt is a useless emotion, I kind of felt guilty that I did that there, Schmaltzy.
Yeah, I mean, Spike Wallace, no relation to Rashid or Ben there, so good on him there. But, boys, I'm going to add, you know what, because I like this guy's game. I played against him in the jungle for years. I played against him a little bit in the NHL. And he went over to the Chicago Blackhawks here, and, he's got ugly style, but he's good around the cage, but he's just not performing to a level they need him. And that's Tyler Bertuzzi. 5 goals, 2 assists for 7 points in 21 games, fellas. This guy, they probably had visions of him playing with Bedard. They probably had visions with him playing big minutes, top 6, power play, good around the net, but he just hasn't really found stride in Chicago. But the one cool thing about Bert is he's played for every team he's played for in the NHL as an original 6 team. He's obviously with Detroit. He's with the Boston Bruins, Toronto, and now in Chicago. So I just hope he can get going here, boys. I like his game. He's an ugly mutt in terms of just, greasy around the net. It's just he's been off to a tough start here in Chi-Town, so.
He's got some terrible style, doesn't he? His style is fucking brutal. But he's a guy that I think they gave him a nice 3-year ticket, didn't they? Give him 3 years there? How many years did they give him?
Yeah, I think it was like 3 at 4 and a hook, something like that. No, 5.
Yeah, he's probably not going to get traded anytime soon, but goes to the net hard, competes.
Yeah, and
just terrible style.
I watched, I took the kids to the Ducks Kraken game last night, and you watch Tanev play, and he's the same way. It's like ugly style, but fuck, when the puck's on his stick, it's usually making the right play. He gets under the other team's skin. He's always hanging around the net. He plays PK, and if you want to put him up in the power play for some meat and potatoes, you can.
Yeah.
But like similar style, right? Like the fucking, you look like a fucking,
beer leaguer.
Yeah, like a homeless guy out there, just fucking with long hair, greasy stash. And it works because you piss the other team off, and you're usually getting some points and chipping in, and from what I hear, a great teammate. So you're firing him on the milk carton.
I like that though. You'll get him going. You'll get him going with that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he's got going is that visor tilt's decent, but he also, boys, he rolls up the sleeves. I never liked it when the guys rolled up the sleeve. They expose their skin on the wrist. Like, for me as a defenseman, especially Yobi, you're probably seeing that like, fuck, I want to slash this guy.
Yeah. No, if you see the open skin, you're just giving him a little chop. If he's on the ice, you just lay on it a little bit, rub the stick on it. Yeah, I like that you put him on the milk carton, but I like that you started off giving your guy a Labatt Blue by calling him a fucking nerd. He's like, this guy's a fucking nerd, but that's a first here, Missin Curfew. This guy's a fucking nerd, but I'm going to give him a Labatt.
That'll get him going.
That'll get him going. But it's the Missin Curfew hot seat, fellas. We didn't have time to put Monty on the hot seat. Well, I put him on, and then he got fucking fired and hired before you know it. I'm going to put my old coach, Mike Sullivan, on the Missin Curfew hot seat. And Sully, I like Sully. Made me watch film all the time, like critiquing. Like, you're standing there, you should be standing there. I'm like,
where'd you have it again?
Tampa. I go, okay, I got it, Sully. I think Mike Sullivan's a great coach. And the reason I'm putting him on the hot seat is I think it's time for Sully. He's already going to be the head coach for the Four Nations USA and the Olympic team. So he's got that. He can focus on that too. But much like Monty, right? Like, if Sully stays in Pittsburgh and things continue to go sour, like, does he really want that? Or is it maybe time for him to resign? Listen, I'm going to move on, bring in somebody else, sit back, look around the league now and go, okay, where does Mike Sullivan want to go? Where do I fit in? And Monty's a great example of, you don't know what GMs are thinking out there. Like, if you would ask me before Monty got fired, I would have said the nerd biscuit Bannister was not in trouble to get fired at all, right? I thought they played great last year under him, made a push to make the playoffs. They're underachieving this year. But what I'm saying is I'm going to throw Sully on the hot seat because I think it'd be a good thing for him to maybe step back. We had a hell of a run here. I won 2 cups. I'm going to resign. I'm going to let a young guy come in, and I'm going to weigh my options instead of staying in Pitt. And listen, it doesn't look good on him. The way they played the other night didn't look good on Sully. So I think it might be time for him to maybe look himself in the mirror and be like, might be time to move on. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a great take, Obes. And the way the way you look at this from the outside in, you never in the rooms. First of all, I never heard of a coach resigning, which would be a unique spot. But I would always just fight till the living.
You look at your money. That's
why I'm like, I don't know if you got to fight till the very end so you get your money. But in saying that,
I never thought it would
probably talk to the GM and be like, if this isn't working, like, let's figure out a solution.
Yeah, I don't want to give up that dough.
You don't give up your captain. It's
Yeah.
like, it's a little different than, like, say, giving up the C or whatever, right? You're like, fucking. But in saying this, like, I look at, Doug Armstrong's no dummy, right? One of the smartest guys in the league. He's made some great moves, been around forever. He's won. When they hired Bannister last year, it really wasn't like, it was shocking to the world of why this guy, when you have Otter maybe that can take the spot. Is he the guy? But, now you look at it and you're like, fuck, maybe Doug knew that there wasn't the best coach out there and that someone's going to be on the hot seat come mid-season next year. And that's when, when the gravy starts to be poured and there's a guy out there that you love, that's when you jump on him. And if you put Otter in place, you don't want to do that to Otter as a young coach. You're just like, Drew could be this expendable piece that, fuck, it might work, it might not. But as soon as the coach comes out there, Mike Sullivan gets fired, I'm bringing in Mike Sullivan.
Yeah.
If Jim Montgomery gets fired, I'm bringing. Does that make sense, boys? Like, you sit back in the weeds.
Like, let's just say Mike Sullivan got fired tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think Chris Drury would be like, okay, wait a second here. Now, how bad do I want Peter Laviolette here? We look really flat. Our structure sucks. Yeah. Maybe I want Mike Sullivan. That's probably the one.
Would Stevie Y be saying the same thing?
Stevie Y in Detroit's another one that maybe you never know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a situation where I think it's a sinking ship there, and you're right about the resigning. You don't want to give up your money, so that's like,
yeah, of course.
I'll still come to the rink if they're, but it's just like, is it still motivating him to coach there? Like, does he come into the rink and be like, by the way, he has that Dave Quinn with him. Everywhere that Dave Quinn goes, they fucking stink. By the way, but I like Sully, and this is because I do like him, and I just think, like, how long do you stay there till they fire you? I guess, right? Till they fire you, you get your money and you leave. But it was interesting, which teased me up to back up the Brinks truck. Do you want to touch on Sully at all there before we move on, Swish?
No, I was just going to say the last thing I had on that was I just think Doug Armstrong might have set a new precedent in terms of, okay, now I'm so up forward and blunt with this. Like, if I see a guy that I want, well, I'm going to go take him before someone else does. So that, I think, could be a scenario where if you see Mike Sullivan get let go or he resigns, I'm sure he'd probably have to get fired or mutually part. But that's a guy that another GM's sitting there in the weeds being like, that's my guy. I'm going to go grab him before one of these other teams wants him because I know 15 to 20 GMs in the league would take him any day to run my squad.
Yeah, I would say the Utah Hockey Club is another team there that, listen, I like. How do you say his name? Tiering?
Turgney.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. I like him. I used to talk to him on Cooley Show all the time. But new ownership, he's coming there. That's another opportunity where they have a lot of good young pieces, right? I'd rather be the Utah Hockey Club than the Pittsburgh Penguins right now. Like, I just think it's a point where Sully's in his career where it's like, how much longer do I want to stick around here and watch Carlson fucking try to defend? You know what I mean? But you can't give up the paychecks. You're right. I didn't take the money into consideration. So, back up the Brinks truck. Speaking of money, boop 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 beep beep. Back it up. Jim Montgomery, your boy, to your old team. It's got you fired up. You're fucking posting on X about it. You're betting on him. You're fucking all in. Dust off the old Winter Classic jersey. Everybody get it on there. 5 years.
5-year deal.
That's nice. Listen, I think it's a great move by Doug Armstrong. We've touched on a little bit throughout the show here, but listen, you go out there and get a guy that can come in here that's had success with the record that Monty's had with veteran guys in St. Louis. I think it's a no-brainer. So once again, your former GM up, dog. You know him better than me. Go ahead, but I think it's a great move for the Blues and good for Monty because he deserves. He's out of work for fucking 3 days. Yeah. How nice is that?
Yeah, and part of me, you never know, but part of me knows, like, there were conversations had, whether it's direct or in the grapevine, but, you got Alex Steen, you got Doug Armstrong, they're doing good things there. The Broberg-Holloway deal this summer, that's making a splash. Well, they just made another splash. And I listened to an interview with Jim yesterday. He was excited about the direction. He did mention Steener's name. There's some good people behind the Blue Note there. And I love it. And just one other thing on this while we're talking about it. I watched Schenner last night, congratulate Jim on his first win as a head coach there. And then, more importantly, our boy Kelly Chase, which we touched on, the hardest working man of the game is getting Kelly Chase's shoulder pads, which I think is just incredible. And it's an incredible move by the boys there, thinking about him and his fight with leukemia again. And last night it was given to that Bolduc, the kid that went out and fucking 2 goals at MSG on a Monday night. And just so good vibes there, man. And thinking about those boys, are a good bunch of guys, and it's a great place to play. So I think everyone's happy there.
What do you think Monty got, boys? 5 you would take you? What do you think? 2 and a hook, $3 million? What do you think it is?
It's north of 3.
You think it's north of 3? You think Army's a tough negotiator? You think he got 3.5? You think it's 15 bananas all in?
So he still gets paid from the Bruins even though he gets a new job? Yeah, of course. So now he's double dipping, which is nice.
Yeah.
So maybe he took a little less, right? I'm still getting paid by the Bees. I want that 5th year, though, Army, right? Army maybe offered him the 3. He's like, listen, I'll take that number, but I want the 4 or 5 years. Like, the 5 years got me. Like, Greener signed this year with Ottawa, got 4 years. So I guess maybe Monty's more established than Greener. He deserves that 5th year, but I just thought, wow, 5 years right out of the get-go here.
Yeah, it's probably you know what? I'd probably say it's the 3.5, $4 million buck range.
By the way, they should tell us what it is. No, why are these coaches' deals not more? I had to ride around a golf cart with John Cooper for 3 days before he told me what he was making. I won't tell what it is, but yeah, should it not be made?
College football coaches, it's right out there. Yeah. It's like there's 25 bananas.
They might change that this year. Once it ends up, it's part of the CBA right now.
It's part of the CBA. Kyle's saying out here. Well, get rid of that. We should know what every coach is.
They should have a salary cap too. Hey,
squeeze the coaches, eh?
Yeah.
Nice part about getting that dough, boys. Too. It's fully guaranteed. You ain't got a buyout clause in there. That's once you sign that ticket, that's your dough, baby.
Yeah. By the way, the whole buyout market. I mean. I'm not going to go down that. But when they buy you out, you should get all your money. You can buy me out, but what do you mean 2/3 of my dough? You signed me to the fucking deal. I could use that 1/3 that they took away from me right now. I could tell you that, Jay Swish. But Monty, good on you. Up dog in his St. Louis and your St. Louis Blues, Jay Swish. If they play like they did against the Rangers, although the Rangers are in one, but they looked really good. Jagermeister, presented by Jagermeister. Best served at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Damn, that's cold. Check Jägermeister out at www.DraftKingsXJägermeister.com. Up dog, cheers, bud.
Yeah, fella.
Swish. Fella. Here's the Super
Slide, boss. Super Wednesday. Slide. Damn, that's cold. Damn, that's cold.
This is going to be the first Thanksgiving in a while that I'm not going to wake up completely hung titty.
You still got time.
I'm not going out.
Okay.
I'm going to golf. I'm going home. I'm not even risking going to Rothschild's to see Frankie, that beauty. I'm waking up Thursday, not hung cheese for the first time since I can remember celebrating Thanksgiving here. But our Jager iciest shot of the night. Shout out to our boy Monty Kid fella. Throws the rookie party. Gets it all dialed in for the boys in his old stomping grounds. Shane Wright, who, by the way, I watched him last night. He's finally looking like a national leaguer. Snaps the drawback, Jay Swish, and it's every D-man's dream, buddy, where it just came out to the ladies' tees. Monty goes Ally of Frady style with 2 or 3 hard strides and rips the cheese past Dolstar. What a shot. That is our Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Iciest shot of the night, up dog. You were there. How'd it look live?
Buddy, I had to take off because I had the kids. So that was at the start of the third period. I left at the end of the second. Shout out to this lovely lady, Jill Hoffman from Toshiba. She had a suite there. She's good friends with the Schwartz family, so we were totally taken care of. Beckham loves the game. Loves the game. I wish I loved the game as much as my son. I'd still be playing. But yeah, no, that was a sick. And then, boys, our boy Macklin Felabrini, the shot top titty last night, coming in. Imagine you could shoot the puck like that. I mean, you were a D-man swishy, but like, as soon as the D-man tries to like poke it at you, you pull it into your feet and you just get that elastic fucking, that whip, and the puck just sails. Like, to beat these NHL goalies from like outside that dot like that is just nuts.
Nuts. That was right. Swish, that was right in the elbow too. You couldn't be more top cheese.
That was skee ball machine, the top left corner, boys. That's where Grandma hides the Percocets. That thing was tucked up there. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, just the way to kick and shoot it. It's so impressive what these guys could do, leaning on the stick. I mean, it seems like everyone shoots it like Matthews these days or tries to, go off of that make and model. It's crazy. That kid's a hell of a player, obviously. But anytime we can give some couple clicks to Felabrini, I love it over here, boy.
I mean, this guy's just come back and been lighting it up for the San Jose Sharks, so good on him. But Jay Swiss, did you see Monty Kid's goal? That's a D-man's dream when it comes back clean, soft and slow, sitting there, couple strides, Ally of Frady with the mullet, and just lean into it. With the traffic, booyah.
Oh, that's like the hardest shot competition. Yeah. With a little bit of pace coming into you, you can just tickle the ceiling and you just fucking uncork it. Yeah, Monty's got a bomb too, by the way. That had a hell of a clapper.
Fuck, he had some jump last night, boys. He was all over that ice. Like, I was tired just watching him.
It was a pace to the game.
Yeah, it was a good game. And shout out to Trevor Zegers. He was actually my Jager iciest shot of the night till Monty went fucking ladies tees titties. But great little pass from Troy Terry. Z takes it, doesn't even stick handle it. Boom, short side top titty. That was a nice play.
You teed me so up for this, boys. So it was a great play, and it was an incredible goal. Troy Terry, he actually played a great game last night too. So shout out to Troy Terry. But boys, when Zeke scored this, I got to tell you, he was pumped. He's in the corner, fucking loving life. And what comes on the fucking speaker? "Love Me Sexy" by Jackie Moon. And I text Fabs and I go, "Do you guys have goal songs?" He says, "Yes." And Zeeks gets to the bench and he's sitting there and this song's playing and I'm like, oh my God, these guys have goal songs.
Their own personal goals.
Yes. And this is Zeeks's and it's like,
and no wonder I haven't heard it all year.
Well, I know.
Hey, no wonder I haven't heard it.
But I thought it was great. I'm like, cause then it was, who scored their second goal was, their goal scorer, Vetrano. Sorry, Voltaren. That's a drug. Anyway, and I'm like, oh, that's a different song. So I immediately knew that these guys had their goal song, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. "Love Me Sexy." Yeah. But
you're sexy, Flint, Michigan. You're sexy, Flint, Michigan.
I want to do a little thing with you. When I say love me, you say sexy. Not that it's rolling up to the club.
It was fucking so good, boys. So anyway, but yeah, he played a good game. Zeke's played a good game. The Ducks, I mean, they got caught late in the game, as you saw, but they were hanging in there.
I don't know what to think about those orange unis, man. I'm trying to like them. I'm really trying my hardest to like them, but I wasn't at the game. I'm just watching on TV. It's just tough on TV. But
the old traffic cone.
Yeah, Z played pretty good. Last night. I don't know if he's listening to Missin Curfew when I threw him on the milk carton, but since then he's got a couple points, couple goals. Good on him. Killer. I thought Killer had a nice match last night too. just playing like good hockey.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're Alex Killorn? Just ride it out here till or do you have an itch to get back? And he's got 4 more years after this year at whatever he's making, 6 and change. So when I watch him play, you can tell that he's won Stanley Cups, and like he just the way he checks and the stick and pressure. And you know what I mean?
Good thing they have him, because who else do they have that's a good veteran? Like, it's Stromer.
Yeah,
like,
Stromer,
never won. Trano. What I mean is the guys that won.
Yeah.
And like that's hard of
Putty.
That's that appearance.
Speaking of veteran guys, Gudas was all over your boy Schwartzy. I mean, in the third period, I don't know if you took the kids home. Oh my God, he drilled him twice. I was thinking about you. I'm like, I wonder if Uppy's there, being like, leave Schwartzy alone. Drilled him one time in the corner, and then up in the half wall, piped him again. And Schwartzy just bounced back up and took it. But I was
Is
like,
that all Gudis was doing out there? Probably.
listen, he did a little between the legs thing too. I mean, he's a nobody's safe out there with him. Like, leave Schwartzy alone. Schwartzy's a good veteran guy. You don't need to be running him. Leave him
For what? Schwartz doesn't even hit anybody.
Yeah.
He just got a good stick.
Yeah, he just bounced back up though. Schwartzy did.
He did.
But he must have been gone because it was in the third. But I was like, Updog's probably up in the sweep, being like, hey, leave him alone up there. Pick on someone else, Swish.
They need to treat everyone and rebrand everything. The jerseys are just horrible.
They just
All of them. Just redo it.
they just rebranded it.
I know. Do it again. It's just atrocious.
You hate him?
Hate them.
They need a new barn too.
That ain't happening. Sam Roy's about to build a little LA over there.
Get them out of here.
He's building an LA Live there.
It's
basically.
stinky down there. It's
Yeah.
got a little stench of like.
Yeah. That barn, boys, when I played in that barn was fucking great. It was rocking, and we were tough, and fuck, that barn used to go. I played against the Ducks in the playoffs, the Preds, too. That barn was loud.
Oh yeah, I know. I've seen it too, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why they didn't just go with the orange with the black helmets, maybe. But I get what they're doing. They're doing the whole orange thing, right? That's their thing. They're trying to do what Nashville did with the gold. They're trying to listen. The Ducks. I think their social media department is clever. I think they're trying. Updog, you're right. The rink doesn't help them. But at the end of the day, it's the product on the ice, right? You gotta start doing a little bit better. But, anyways, around the National League, last but not least here, boys. Travis Green. I was gonna put the Ottawa Sens and media on the milk carton, but like whatever. I don't know what they're thinking up there. Like Greener goes to bat for Brady Tkachuk. People of Ottawa that listen to this podcast, what the fuck are you trying to do? Are you trying to get Brady Tkachuk to leave town? The guy plays hard every single night. He wants to be an Ottawa Senator. And now we have media and fans questioning, do you got to rein him in? Is he taking stupid penalties? And Greener just, I don't have to read the whole quote. People have seen it. Greener just said, you guys are crazy. This guy plays hard every night, competes. I would much rather have a guy that I have to rein in than a guy that I got to get going. So to the people of Ottawa, the fans, I don't care about the media, but the fans, listen, Brady loves being there. You don't want to give any reason for him to ever want to leave. They're trying to figure it out, but to me, Upshaw, it's crazy to be all over this guy about being too emotional and too competitive. I would take Brady Tkachuk. I would take 20 Brady Tkachuks on my team.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, this is a guy that you've obviously been outspoken with on our podcast before. We know him as a person, as a player. He doesn't need to prove himself at all. His game is his game. There's a lot of people out there that would love to have him on his team. Love to have him as their captain. And to me, it's like you don't want to look back as an Ottawa Senator, as a fan, or as a person making decisions, and be on the wrong side of this one, being like, shit, we got rid of this guy because he played too hard. We got rid of this guy because he can't stop fighting guys, or whatever the case may be. You're going to be on the wrong side of that, in my opinion.
I'd trade Brady Tkachuk for Pettersson right now. Would you do that trade? Brady Tkachuk for Elias Pettersson, Vancouver, 1-1. Let's go right now. I know fucking Rick Tocchet would.
Yeah.
I would make that trade right now if that was on the table, and it's not. I'm just saying, and this is not picking on Pettersson, but I guarantee the fans of Vancouver would love to have the problem of Brady Tkachuk, where he's taking too many penalties and fighting every night, to a guy who has got his game going. But you know what I'm saying, Jay Swish? How dare you complain about a captain, a young American-born captain playing in Canada, fighting, fucking chirping, and you're going to say, we got to reel this kid in, he's costing us hockey games? It's embarrassing for Sens fans.
Yeah, I just don't understand a guy that emotionally invested in your organization, into the fabric of your city, clearly wants to be there, clearly wants to win there. Why are you trying to put bad taste in a guy like that? How many guys in the league, Obi, right now that can score 40 goals, 30-odd goals, and put up 100 penalty minutes? That includes fighting 10 to 15 times a year. I mean, he beat the brakes off of Dakota Joshua the other night, and people are complaining about this guy. This guy is your captain. This is your heart and soul player. I mean, do you have to be an idiot? Which they clearly are. It's crazy to me. That guy, I'd take him any day of the week.
Yeah, that's well said. And I would just say, like, he signed an extension there. He wants to be there, but I would say life without Brady Tkachuks would be a lot worse off. So to the Sens fans, tighten it up a little bit up there. Jay Swish, happy Thanksgiving. Up dog, have a great Thanksgiving with your family. Thank you to Hall Pass Media, Kyle Conway, Max Ice Pick is what they were calling him on the fella tour. Ice Pick, thanks fella. Happy Thanksgiving. That was Missin Curfew, fellas.